Hey y'all, this is day 13 of building $100,000 business annual. Um, and today is going to be about consistency. What I've decided on for at least for the near future, the format of these videos are going to be very much like this, where it'll be like when I don't want to do something more highly produced, and right now I'm not doing anything more highly produced, but when I want to do stuff like this, which I do want to do, um, it's going to be like this, where it's just going to be an Obsidian document with the talking points that I'm going to go over on the video, as well as this little, circular talking head on off to the side, so you can see me. And here, if I click on this, you can see my Obsidian stuff and what's going on there. I'm just checking that my mic is picking things up, which it seems to be. So what I'm going to talk about today is a few things, and it's just written here, which makes my life really easy. I'm not really great at remembering things as I'm trying to talk on camera. Maybe I'll get better at it as I do more and more of these types of videos. But for now, first thing is an announcement, which is I'm going to start doing a Q&A at the beginning of every one of these videos. Now, right now I have no viewers, I have no questions coming in, so there's nothing to answer. But going forward, I will answer any questions you may have at the beginning of these videos, right? It'll always just start off with a little intro and then just the questions, answering questions, right? So I'll answer them in public, and you'll be able to watch the next day's videos back, and you'll be able to get your answers from there. Any questions on the previous video will be answered. So if you need to ask a question, just ask it on the latest day, right? But doesn't matter right now. Nobody's watching. So I ripped that straight from Nick Sarive, by the way, but his stuff's really good, and I like his video format, so I'm stealing it. So, now, today I want to talk about consistency. So what happened? I missed 2 days of uploading. Why did I miss 2 days of uploading when literally this is all I have to do for a video? Well, what happened is on Sunday, I had like this baseball thing, softball thing. And, I'm a pretty sedentary person. So, softball thing, and also I'm getting into my mid-30s now, so we did the softball thing last year, and we played several games. So we got there this year. We got there. Game started at like 11ish. So we were there. We were, playing, and taking breaks and stuff, having a few drinks. We played until honestly like 5ish was when the last game ended. We did several games, I think. And after all that was done, we were like really tired, but then we chilled for a couple more hours, just chilling, drinking a little bit more, talking with the people that were there. It was a really cool experience last year. This year was cool too because it was a lot of the same people, but last year was kind of wild. I won't get into that. Anyway, it's just I also was running on 2 hours sleep that day. I'm running on 0 hours sleep today. But when I got back from that, I fell asleep at like 9, and then I slept for 12-ish hours, and my whole body was just exhausted the next day. So I shouldn't have really missed yesterday. I had more than an ample time to do it, but technically, I haven't broken the rule of if I don't sleep, it doesn't count as a new day. So, in that sense, I've only missed 1 day, but, I'm counting today as a new day. Anyway, that is why I missed 2 days. It was just like a lot of physical exhaustion, and, things like this just tire me out. And that's not just me, it was everybody else there too. Because stuff like this just wouldn't tire you out in your 20s. Nowadays, it just does, which kind of sucks. But there's tons of benefits to being in your 30s as well. Not so much physical, but mostly like mental, I would say. Um, anyway, that's why I missed it. And what I'm going to be doing going forward to try and do better is just, I mean, I'm just going to keep trying to make these videos regularly. And what I'm going to try and do is just make it first thing in the morning so that I can just record it, say my thoughts, say what I'm going to be working on today. And it's more of a log for me than anything else. As I start making more stuff, I'll probably take some of these old ones down or private them and putting in more sort of higher produced stuff. And that brings me to my next point, which is I want to start experimenting with better production value. So today, it's really early in the morning. It's kind of a gloomy day, but the lighting's still decent, right? Usually what I do is, let me see, let's center this. See, that should have been centered earlier, but it wasn't. So there we go. So one of the things I'm actually struggling quite a bit with is my hands. Like, it's very hard to have my hands in the right spot, because you can see it doesn't come up, and I can't really zoom out any further on this camera, and I'm not quite sure how to deal with that. So I have to bring up my hands like way up here, and like, who the heck has their hands at face level while talking unless I'm literally talking to the camera, and I have to pretend like you are the person, and all of a sudden I already feel like this is more engaging. But it's hard to do this while looking at this thing, right? And keep in mind of everything that I'm going to do. Anyway, all that to say, I need to fix production value on a lot of things, and also this just kind of looks annoying. Like, this looks dumb. I need to avoid the stupid mic. I need to do that. So I need to figure out how people deal with this issue. Because I can't really push the camera any further back. But regardless, what I'm going to be focusing on is production value. So upping production value just a little bit in different ways. So one of the things will be like figuring out how to deal with this hand issue. Another thing is going to be lighting. So my lighting is, I mean, it's okay sometimes, but if I want to record a video later in the day or something, so I've got like this light thing that I bought for like $50, that clamps to the edge of my desk, and that can give me this sort of lighting, which is kind of a cool effect, but it looks pretty artificial, right? Like, it's not as soft as I would like because it's not a huge softbox, because I didn't really want that on my desk 24/7. And I want this setup to be like, my camera is here 24/7. All I have to do is turn on USB streaming mode and plug it in. The light is there 24/7, but it's not the best light, you know? I prefer natural light. So let me turn that off. Now, today's a gloomy day. Give it a second to adjust. Today's a gloomy day, but it's much softer, right? It looks much more natural, which is exactly what I want. But that's the sort of stuff I need to start experimenting with a little bit. But the other thing that might be even bigger is just like sort of producing slightly higher quality videos. Like that VSL video, that was actually providing something that would be useful, right? If I titled that, like, I think I want to remake that and like go through the entire process of how I would record a VSL and just upload that with like a better title and thumbnail, and hopefully people would click on it, right? Like, that's something that provides value. This right now doesn't really provide value. Once the Q&A section starts going and I have people in here, it will start providing value. Now, the other thing is I do have a tendency to ramble on. This video is already 9 minutes. I need to start condensing, right? Which is difficult to do with these rambly type videos. But that's important that I figure this out and practice it every day going forward. Also, you know, cutting out ums and ahs as much as possible just in my general speech. So yeah, like, the day-to-day stuff, I just want to keep it easy to deliver, but make it slightly more valuable with each iteration. So, you know, what do I mean by slightly more valuable? Just make the production value a little bit better and make the content of it a little bit more useful when possible, right? But I recognize the nature of these videos right now is just to get me started and to get me going, and they aren't meant to be difficult. In the future, I might do a separate channel for this sort of stuff, but these sort of daily updates are going to be important more for me than anything else at this stage. So yeah, and the other thing is just start thinking of thumbnails and titles. What I forgot to mention is what I'm going to be working on today. So I'm going to be diagnosing GHL thing, a client mentioned. I'm thinking there's probably nothing wrong with it. They said the same thing previously. There was nothing wrong then. But I'm going to take a look at it just to see what's going on. It's probably just a spam/deliverability issue, which is going to happen when you have tiny amounts of send volume from an entirely new domain. And there's not really much you can do with it through GHL. And the next thing is, and this is the big one, I'm going to be doing from now on one campaign a day for cold email. Now, that doesn't mean I'm starting a whole new campaign every single day. But for the next 4 days, I will be, including today. So this week, I'm launching 4 campaigns, separate campaigns to different target lists and stuff. And the point of this is to scrape a list every day, write copy every day, tweak it every day. It's not going to be like fully rewritten every time. The copy is already written. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. I'm just testing verticals and like A/B changes and that sort of stuff. And that's really it. Like those are the two, and actually launch every day, right? So right now, I don't think I have any cold email campaigns running, which I should have already had running, but I haven't. So I want to confront that today because that is the main thing I need to deal with today, right? It's just to get my outreach going again. And I want it to become a daily thing that I do, and I will share the sort of results I get from that. So one campaign a day for cold email this week only. And then going forward, I won't be doing a whole new campaign every day, but I will be changing copy / doing A/B testing for campaigns. Make at least one change per day. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't even matter if it makes fucking sense. But I think with the amount of volume that I'm going to be sending, and based on, the stuff that people have said, it sort of makes sense to just make it some sort of daily habit to at least check and tweak some things, right? Based on how I feel about it that day. What I don't want to do is overdo it, maybe. Right? Like maybe I do need to just let it run a little bit. So I don't know if I want to make that a daily habit, but I think for the time being, after this week, I will need to. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So 13 minutes, 59 seconds, 14 minutes, and it'll probably be 15 by the time I wrap up. But I think this is a pretty good place to be today. I am going to get going on that and start with this, and then I will do that. I also need to check on my other client if they've sent me an email. Probably not. It was a long weekend in Canada and they're a Canadian client, so I doubt they were working. And I also didn't get an email from what I could tell, but they gave me a separate email. Anyway, that's something I'll be checking on, but this is what I'm working on today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And that is a promise.